Hello scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back today with my very first design team assignment for Cut to You. And I just thought that this book stack cut file would be the perfect cut file to use for today's video. So I've been reading a ton lately and I decided that I really wanted to focus on the books that I've been reading this year for a layout. So what I'm going to decide to do is I am going to emphasize this cut file with some dazzlers. So this dazzlers that I'm using right now, I believe is called, I want to say Tickle Me Pink. And then the other one is Coral Crazy or something like that. I will try to remember to leave a link below to the Shimmers shop. I'm not sure if they have these colors still because they've kind of renewed their products and done a bunch of changing, but I really like these two colors kind of mixed together. The pink one, the light pink one, was just super light pink, and I wanted to make sure that this cut file would show up. So I did add the teeniest, tiniest of the coral color. Now I'm going to let it dry. So I'm going to set it aside for a little while, and I am going to work on the rest of the layout. Okay, here now you can see that I have this 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and it has the typewritten phrase books I've read, 2019, and then I had it underlined. So I made sure to print that off with my printer before I got started, and now I'm going to start fussing around with embellishments and trying to figure out how exactly I want to set this up. So I had that high five card, and I really liked that idea of that being there in the middle, but I knew with the way that I write, I wouldn't have enough room for the titles, so I end up putting it to the side. Here you can see I am putting down some of these. They're Paige Taylor Evans. They're from Fancy Free. They're the cute little resin pieces, and then also some puffy stickers. And those are just going to be the little notches highlighting each book. And the purpose of that little Project Life card up there in the top right hand corner was just a placeholder. So I was thinking what I would do is put a 3x4 photo of me up there reading. I was going to ask my husband to take a photo of me, but it's actually going to evolve into something different. And I really, really love how this layout comes out. I don't really normally do picture list layouts, and I don't scrapbook a ton about me or things that I like. I tend to focus on, the kids and things that we do as a family, but I really do like focusing on myself. I just don't do it a lot. So for this assignment, I just really wanted to focus on the books that I've read because I have enjoyed reading so much this year. So I'm using this Allie Edwards stamp, and that just says the story. I believe I got that a few years ago when I think it was her Week in the Life stamp set, I think, that I purchased. Here I contemplated backing the cut file with that pink background paper, but I decide against it. And this is where I pull in that high five card again, and I really love how that looks. So this is where I'm going to change my mind and do a whole different idea. Just when I make layouts, like I was saying, I need a photo to focus on, right? And so something like this is just so out of my element. And so I had so much fun kind of changing up my style and doing things differently this time around. So here I'm just going to add a couple of paper layers and embellishments underneath that high five card. I apologize about all the noise if you can hear the noise in the background. It is the week of July 4th, and here in America where I live, we celebrate the 4th of July, and people set off fireworks the whole week before, the whole week during, and the whole week after the 4th. So it's very exciting. And then also my husband is, of course, playing a video game super loud because that's just my life. Anyway, so I really like the embellishments and the stickers and everything that I ended up using in that high five cluster up there. And I think I'm almost done. I will add a little bit of stamping. So, okay, I don't know if you ladies are like this, but I hate my handwriting. It's awful. And so I was messaging with Sarah, who is a really good friend of mine, and she's also on the design team. And I was talking with her about this layout, and I was like, I really hate my handwriting. What am I supposed to do? And she was like, well, why don't you stamp it? And I was like, yeah, I could stamp it. And she was like, you could even do both stamping and your handwriting. Because I'm kind of one of those people that I don't want to be afraid of my handwriting, because I know someday I'll be like, why didn't I handwrite, you know? So this is what I decided to do. Is the very first book that I read this year was Kingdom of Ash. Well, actually, no, I think that was the second book I read this year, but I decided to stamp that one first. It doesn't really matter. I'm not really trying to do them in order. So I stamped the words kingdom and then ash, and then the word of I just decided to do in cursive and to use a Tombow mono pen, I think is what it is, right? Is that what they're called? Then the second book that I read is actually like the third or fourth book that I've read this year, and it's called Fallen. So I'm just going to stamp out that full title, and that takes a little bit because I only have one of each alpha. So the letter L, it takes a couple minutes to get that cleaned off and then repositioned and everything. And then this next one, I am going to stamp out, let's see, what was the next book? I don't have the layout in front of me because that's how silly I am. Yes. Okay. Tower of Dawn actually is the next title that I write down. And I did the same thing. I just wrote the word of in cursive, and it works out perfect, and I absolutely love it. Now this is where I kind of mess up. So the next book that I'm going to write down is called Boneless Mercies, and it is a very interesting and very different book. This is a book I probably would not have picked out for myself, but my husband bought it for me for Christmas, and so I decided to read it because he is very thoughtful, and he buys me books all the time, but he doesn't just buy them willy-nilly. Like when he buys me a brand new book for like Christmas or my birthday, like he will do his research. And he knows the books that I have read and that I have loved because I talk about them. And so he does his research. And this one, it was a good book. It was just different. So then this is kind of where I mess up. So I didn't have enough room to write out the word mercies with the stamp set. So I decided to just write it out in cursive. It doesn't look amazing, but it actually doesn't look that bad. So I'm okay with it. I really, really do love how this layout turns out. And I actually have 2 more books that I can write on here now. So that's exciting, right? Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out the Cut to You shop and come and visit the blog as well. I will be posting on there today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.